Hello everyone, we are again with our chapter that is biophysics. As all of you know that biophysics is the science which deals with the physiological processes, and that physiological processes are depend upon certain physiochemical principles. So biophysics is nothing but the science which contains various processes, and that physiological processes depends upon certain physiochemical principles. So in biophysics, some processes are included such as diffusion, osmosis, hydrotropy, colloids, filtration, ultrafiltration, then surface tension, Donan equilibrium, dialysis. So out of these processes or out of these topics, we have completed some topics such as filtration, ultrafiltration, hydrotropy, colloid, adsorption, diffusion, and osmosis. And in previous lecture or last lecture, we have completed Donan equilibrium also. So today we are going to start the new topic, that is surface tension. But before going to surface tension, let us have a short recap on Donan equilibrium. So what is Donan equilibrium? There are different names for this Donan equilibrium. Donan equilibrium is also called as Gibbs-Donan effect or Donan's effect or Donan law or Gibbs-Donan equilibrium. So these are the different names for the same phenomenon, that is Donan equilibrium. It is a name for behavior of charged particles near a semi-permeable membrane that sometimes fail to distribute evenly across two sides of the membrane. So for understanding purpose, we have seen one example. In that example, we have take sodium phosphate and another is sodium chloride. So we have take these two solutions, sodium phosphate on one side and sodium chloride on another side, and both these solutions are separated from semi-permeable membrane. So let us take that example again for understanding purpose. Suppose this is container having semi-permeable membrane in the center, and this semi-permeable membrane separates two solutions. On one side there is a sodium phosphate and on another side there is a sodium chloride. So out of these two solutions, sodium phosphate, which is a ionizable compound, and out of this P, that means phosphate, is non-diffusible. So P remains on the same side, that means this side, and cannot go towards this side. So P remains on the same side, while sodium can pass through this semi-permeable membrane. Also chloride can pass through the semi-permeable membrane, but P or phosphate cannot pass through this semi-permeable membrane. So after some time, we can get after some time there is a equilibrium. On one side there is a sodium chloride and phosphate, on another side there is only sodium and chloride. So product of sodium and chloride is equal on both sides, but this phosphate remains on the same side because this phosphate is non-diffusible ion, and so that this equilibrium is called as Donan equilibrium. If this compound is kept on one side, that means sodium phosphate kept on one side and NaCl on another side, just we have seen in the diagram, sodium and chloride ions will freely pass but not phosphate. That means sodium and chloride can freely pass on both sides, while phosphate remains on its side because phosphate or P is non-diffusible ion. When the final equilibrium will be reached, it will be seen that product of sodium and chloride on one side is equal to the product of the same two ions, that means sodium and chloride, on the another side. That means on both sides sodium chloride ions are in the equilibrium state. So here we have taken initial state. So on initial state there is a sodium phosphate compound on one side and sodium chloride compound on another side. But after some time what will happen, because P is non-diffusible, so P cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane, but sodium and chloride can easily pass through the semi-permeable membrane. So after some time we get sodium chloride and phosphate on one side, while on the another side there is only sodium and chloride. That means product of sodium chloride on the left side is equal to the product of sodium chloride on the right side. This type of equilibrium, in which the products of the same pair of ions on two sides of the permeable membrane become same, and that equilibrium is called as Donan equilibrium. So we have also seen the physiological importance of this Donan equilibrium in our physiology, and particularly in the digestive system. In digestive system, stomach is responsible for the secretion of gastric juice, and that gastric juice is highly acidic due to the HCl, and for the secretion of this gastric juice from the stomach, this Donan equilibrium plays important role for its highly or strongly acidic juice, while pancreas secrete alkaline juice. So this Donan equilibrium helps us or in our body for the secretion of strongly acidic juice from stomach and alkaline juice from the pancreas. So this is the importance of Donan equilibrium. Now let us start our new topic. So before going to that topic, here is the image or picture that you can see on the slide. So these are the water drops and which are on the leaves. So why there is a globular shape of these water drops? Why there is a not rectangular shape or square shape? Why they get the globular shape or circular shape? So one terminology is behind this globular shape or circular shape of the water drops, and that terminology is surface tension. So let us see how surface tension helps or plays important role in this globular shape of water drops. So let us see surface tension. So surface tension is the manifestation of attracting forces in between atoms or molecules. So surface tension is the output of attracting forces in between the atoms or molecules. As we have known that there are three substances or three states of substances, that is, we have already seen that three substances or state of substances that are solid, liquid and gases. So these are the three states of substances: solid, liquid and gases. So each state or each substance, that means solid substance, is made up of molecules, while liquid substance is also made up of molecules, that means liquid molecules, and gaseous substance also made up of some gaseous molecules. So all the substances are made up of atoms or molecules. So in between these molecules there are some attracting forces are present, and these attracting forces are responsible for the surface tension. So surface tension is the output of these attracting forces which are present in the molecules of the substance. So let us see in detail. So here is the container. So this is container which contains a liquid, and that liquid contains, or that liquid is consist of molecules, liquid molecules. So these are the molecules. So here is the container, and in that container there is a liquid substance, and this liquid substance is made up of various liquid molecules or many liquid molecules, and each of these molecules have some attractive forces, and that attractive forces is called as intermolecular attractive forces, because molecule which is present in the liquid attracts another molecules towards its side. So there are attractive forces in between them, and these attractive forces are called as intermolecular attractive forces. So there are two parts. If we see that some molecules are present on the surface, while some molecules are present in the depth of the liquid. So there is a difference between both these molecules. That means the molecules which are present on the surface and molecules which are present in the depth of liquid. So what is the difference between these two molecules? That means molecules present on the surface and molecules which are present in the depth. So molecules which are present on the surface getting attracted towards downwards and sidewise only, while molecules which are present in the depth are attracted from all directions. So these molecules can freely move in the depth of liquid, while molecules which are present on the surface have restricted movement. So this is another difference between these two molecules which are present on surface and which are present in the depth. The molecules which are present on the surface have restricted movement, while molecules which are present in the depth can freely move in the liquid. While the molecules which are present in the depth get attracted from all sides, while molecules which are present on the surface attracted only by sidewise and only towards in the downward direction. So let us see explanation which is helpful to understand surface tension. So in a liquid, the molecules attract each other. As we have seen in the diagram, the molecules which are present in the liquid attracts each other, and that attractive force is called as intermolecular attractive forces. So here in the diagram, these are the molecules which are present on the surface. These are attracted from side molecules and attracted also from downward molecules, but molecules which are present in the depth of liquid are attracted from all sides, and they also attracts other molecules from all sides. So this is the difference between molecules which are present on the surface and molecules which are present in the depth of liquid. So let us see first part, that is the molecules which are present within the depth of liquid. So as we have seen that liquid is made up of various molecules, and molecules have some intermolecular attractive forces. So within the depth of liquid, each molecule is attracted equally from all directions. So these words are very important regarding the molecules which are present within the depth of liquid. So within the depth of liquid, molecules are attracted equally from all directions. Hence the molecules can move freely. So this is the reason why the molecules which are present in the depth can move freely. So this is the reason behind this, because they are attracted equally from all directions. Let us see about molecules which are present on the surface. But a molecule at the liquid air surface, that means these molecules which are present at the liquid and air surface. So on this side there is a air, while on this side there is a liquid. So these are the molecules which are present at a level where there is a liquid air surface. So these molecules is attracted only by the molecules within the depth of liquid. That means these molecules which are present on the surface are attracted only from downward sides and from sidewise. So there are relatively few molecules in the gas above, because here there are only few molecules which are present on this surface, above the surface, and that gas molecules attracts very less, so that as on this surface there are few molecules of airs, or we can say as a gas, so there are relatively few molecules in the gas above the water surface to exert any upward force. So this force is less than this force, so that the molecules which are present on the surface are get attracted from downward side only. Consequently, it tends to be pulled inwards and its freedom of movement is restricted. So molecules which are present on the surfaces have restricted movement. They can't freely move in the depth because they are present on the surface, and as they are present on the surface, attractive force attracts these molecules towards the depth of the liquid. So consequently, it tends to be pulled inwards and its freedom of movement get restricted. So as they are attracted towards only downward direction, so their freedom of movement get restricted. For the same reason, the surface of the liquid tries to pull itself together and shrinks in order to occupy least possible area. So overall effect of these all molecules is that they are get attracted inwards, and so that they tries to shrink. That means less they are responsible for less surface. So for the same reason, the surface of the liquid tries to pull itself together and shrinks in order to occupy the least possible area. So in previous slide or first slide, as we have seen the image, so here these molecules which are present on the surface are tries to pull towards inward, and so that their surface area get shrink. So this is the reason why there is a globular shape of these water drops. So due to the surface tension, these water drops get globular shape or circular shape. So let us go towards our slide. So for the same reason, the surface of the liquid tries to pull itself together inward side and shrinks in order to occupy least possible area. This energy with which surface molecules closely adhere together is called surface tension. So surface tension is the tension or attraction created by the surface molecules, and that energy or that tension or that force is called as surface tension. This energy with which surface molecules closely adhere together is called as surface tension. solutes alter the surface tension. That means which type of solutes are present in the liquid, and that solutes alter the surface tension. That means if this liquid is made up of inorganic solutes, or if this solution is consist of inorganic solutes, so solutes alter the surface tension. That means type of solute alter the surface tension. Some inorganic salts generally raise the surface tension, while organic substances reduce the surface tension of water. So types of solute is responsible for surface tension to increase or to decrease. So solute alter the surface tension. That means surface tension is totally depend upon the type of solutes. If there is a inorganic solutes are present in the liquid, they generally raise the surface tension. That means inorganic salts are responsible for increase in the surface tension, while organic substances reduce surface tension. That means organic solutes are responsible for reduction in the surface tension of the liquid. So some are the examples are given here: bile salts, proteins, phospholipids, oils, soaps. These are the important examples of organic substances and which helpful for the reduction of the surface tension. So we have seen in the liver chapter that is bile salts are important for emulsification of the fats, because bile salts are the organic substances and they reduce the surface tension of the fats, and so that fats get emulsified. So emulsification of fats is the important function of the bile salt, because bile salt reduces the surface tension of the fats, and that fats are converted into the emulsion, and so that they can be easily absorbed through our digestive systems. So this surface tension has a physiological importance in our physiology, particularly in the digestive system. Another example is that phospholipids, as we have seen in the respiratory system, surfactants which are responsible for reduction of the surface tension, and that surfactants are made up of phospholipids. So in the respiratory system or in the lungs, surfactants are responsible for reduction of the surface tension, and that surfactants are made up of phospholipids. So here inorganic salts which raise the surface tension, and organic substances or solutes increases the surface tension. So organic substances, that means which are made up from living matters, and inorganic substances which are made up from non-living matters. So let us see the importance of surface tension. So physiological importance, as I have just told, that this surface tension helps in the digestion of fats. This surface tension also helps for reducing the collapsing tendency of the alveoli. So let us see what is the physiological importance. The globular shape of oil drop or water drop, as we have seen in the first image, that there is a globular shape of water drops, and the reason behind that globular shape of water drops is only surface tension. So globular shape of oil drop in water, of the fat particles in the milk, or water drops on the leaves. So all these globular shape are because of the surface tension. So surface tension is the important terminology which reduces the surface area of the liquid. Then second example, bile salts reduce surface tension of the fat, converting it into the emulsion in the intestine, and this helps in the digestion and absorption of the fats. So another physiological importance of surface tension is that because bile salts are important substances or chemicals which reduces the surface tension of the fats, and because of reduction in the surface tension of the fats, fat can easily converted into emulsions, and so that they can be easily absorbed through our digestive system. So this is the physiological importance of surface tension. One more, there is a third example, that is surfactants. So surfactants are the molecules which are present in the layer of alveoli, and that surfactant are responsible for reducing the collapsing tendency of the alveoli, and that surfactant also responsible for reduction of the surface tension, and that surfactants are made up of phospholipids specially. So surface tension has a very important role in our physiology. So before concluding today's lecture, a short recap on surface tension. So for a short recap, we have to go on our first slide. So as we have know that surface tension is the manifestation or the output of attracting forces in between the atoms or molecules. So molecules which are present on the surface of the liquid have attractive forces mostly towards the downward side, while molecules which are present in the depth have attractive forces evenly from all sides or from all directions, so that the molecules which are present in the depth can freely move in all directions, while molecules on the surfaces can move only towards the downward side. In a liquid, molecules attract each other. So as this shown in the figure, that molecules which are get attracted from molecules which are present on the surrounding. So molecules which are present in the depth are attracted from all sides, and these attractive forces are even, while molecules which are present on the surface are get attracted from sidewise and only in the downward direction. So within the depth of liquid, each molecule is attracted equally from all directions. Hence, the molecule can move freely in all directions. So, molecules which are present in the depth can freely move in all directions, while molecules which are present on the surfaces, molecule at the liquid air surface, that means these molecules. So molecules which are present on the surfaces get attracted only by the molecules within the depth of liquid, and there are relatively few molecules in the gas above. As there are few molecules on the above side, so there is a less attraction from above side but more attraction from the downward side. There are relatively few molecules in the gas above the water surface than to exert the upward force. Consequently, it tends to be pulled inwards. That means from above side there is a less force, but from depth of liquid there is a more force. So ultimately these molecules, that means molecules which are present on the surface, get attracted towards inward, that means towards the depth of the liquid. So they always try to pull inwards, so that they are trying to reduce their surface area. For the same reason, the surface of the liquid tries to pull itself together and shrinks in order, that means to reduce the surface area, shrinks in order to occupy least possible area. And this energy, that means these attractive forces, are called as surface tension. So this energy with which surface molecules closely adhere together. So mostly these forces which attracts the molecules which are present on the surface. So these forces are not called as a surface tension, but the forces which attracts the surface molecules and so that these surface molecules adhere together, that force is particularly called as surface tension. So here these forces are called as surface tension, but not these forces. These are the intermolecular forces, but surface tension is the energy with which the surface molecules closely adhere together, and that energy or that tension or that force is called as surface tension. That means, in easy language, the energy or the force which attracts surface molecules towards or inwards side is called as surface tension. That means tension created by the surface molecules to reduce the surface area is also called as surface tension. So this surface tension is depend upon the type of solutes. So we have seen here that inorganic salts generally raise the surface tension. Inorganic salts, that means chemicals which are not derived from living things or living matters, while organic salts or organic solutes or organic chemicals, that means which are derived from living things or living matters. So here inorganic salts generally raises the surface tension, while organic substances reduces the surface tension. So in organic substances we have seen some examples, that is bile salts which are present in the bile, and phospholipids which are present in the surfactant of the lung alveoli. So all these helps to reduce the surface tension. So bile salts reduces surface tension of the fats, and so that fat can be easily absorbed through our intestine. Let us see the physiological importance. The globular shape of an oil drop in the water or fat particles in the milk is due to the surface tension. So globular shape of oil drop or water drops which are present on the surface is due to surface tension. Then bile salts reduce surface tension of fat, converting it into an emulsion in the intestine, and this helps in the digestion and absorption of the fats. So thanks for watching this video. For any difficulty or queries you can comment. So thanks for watching this video.